Sixers fans, what's up? Welcome back. Let's talk about game two. Let's rock with the expectations, what we want, what we need. This is not a game to take lightly, ladies and gentlemen. We know how the Sixers have treated us over the past couple of years. They constantly look really, really good for a game or two, and then bang, all of a sudden we blow a 3-1 series lead, and we forget how to play basketball, a la Ben Simmons and Doc Rivers. I know this is a different team. I know the Raptors are a different team compared to the 2019 series, but you know what? That culture stays the same. It's not time to let up. It's only a 1-0 series lead. Granted, the Sixers played one of their better games they've played all season long last game, but I want to talk about game two. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the family, the community. I have class tonight at 7 on Zoom. You best believe on that other side of the screen I'm watching the Sixers game so I can do a post game immediately after. Game's at 7:30. I'm looking forward to it. Drop predictions in the score. Let's see what we got. All right, so initially, let's talk about the monkey on the back. Thad Young, Gary Trent Jr., and Scotty Barnes are all likely out, right? So you're looking at the game and you're saying, easy win. No shot we lose this game. This is a dub. Normally, for any other fan base, yeah, this should be a dub. But we're the Sixers. I love C4. It's getting me through the day. Normally, yeah, we should win that series. We should win this game. We should not be worrying about it. But my thing is, this is an absolute must-win of the series. This is going to be a turning of the tables if we lose. Because, as we all know, Matisse Thybulle is out for games 3 and 4 in Toronto. And if we lose game 2, we could very well likely lose game 3 and 4. And all of a sudden, we're down 3-1 and shit. The entire momentum is gone. It's done. And our belief on this team has completely changed. And I personally do not want to live through that because I know what that's like and I hate that feeling. This is an absolutely must-win, and with a lot to prove. Game 1 had some insane narratives, and because of those storylines, Game 2 is going to be different. First of all, Nick Nurse gave Tyrese Maxey the ability to drop 38 last night, or a couple nights ago, and Tyrese, first of all, took advantage of it. So kudos to him for putting on a world-class playoff performance. He had the best Game 1 out of any player on any team in either conference. Tyrese Maxey is an absolute star right now. It's not in the making anymore. I'm not going to call him a star in the making anymore because that man has arrived. Him and Jordan Poole both went crazy, and the fact that neither of them are even in the conversation for most improved right now, it just seems broken. The fact that Tyrese isn't a most improved guy, it just seems so broken to me. The whole media is against the process. I'm not even a conspiracist in the NBA, but I am fully on board with the media hates the process. They don't want to validate Joel Embiid and his incredible, historic season. They don't want to validate Tyrese Maxey, but whatever. I get it. You can't take away an NBA championship, and at this point, that's all I want. You know, I put a lot of money on Game 1 because I had this feeling that I'm different than most Sixers fans right now. A lot of Sixers fans came in and said Raptors in 6, Raptors in 5, Raptors in 7, this. I initially had Sixers in 6 on DJ Eastwood's stream. But then I was like, you know what? I think I had the Sixers in 5 before the series started. Game 1 went down, and I was going into it very confident because I just think the Sixers team is so goddamn good when they want to be, and it really just depends on if Paul Reed plays. Doc Rivers actually played Paul Reed, and the Sixers got plus point differential at all times with Paul Reed on the court, and that's literally all it will take for the Sixers to beat teams, is if we have a plus differential when Paul Reed on the court and Embiid sitting, because we've never had that in the playoffs, guys. We've never had that. I'm used to the Greg Monroe 2 minutes minus 11 days. As long as we can just maintain the ship with Embiid off the court, then when he comes on, we're going to dominate. And Embiid had a great first game. You're going to look at the stat line, and I know a lot of moronic Nuggets fans look at the stat line, and they're like, oh, he shot this and this from the field. He wasn't efficient. His true shooting wasn't great. But the thing is, he did not commit a turnover. And if you understand Joel Embiid versus the Toronto Raptors in playoff history, that is freaking huge. He has to be feeling good after Game 1. He had a bunch of assists and 0 turnovers. That's massive. His passing was great out of the double team. He was getting locked down by everybody, but he still seemed to dominate when we really needed him to. Harden had a very good game from 3. He went 4 of 7 from 3. We love that. So if we can just kind of maintain this quick, better Harden, It's still not where I would like him to be at. He's still not explosive, getting to the rim and driving and even finishing better. He's just not there yet, but at least if his shot's falling, that's huge. He also had 14 assists. That's crazy. But the fact that they allowed Tyrese Maxey to go off was huge. And the fact that they're not going to let Tyrese Maxey do that tonight is going to allow Embiid and Harden to do a little bit more of their work. Tobias Harris also had a great game in game one. I mean, we're not going to lose games when Tobias Harris is being that efficient on that many shots with that many points. We're not going to lose games. That's huge. If Toby can continue to be a really good fourth option, the Sixers are immediately in a very, very scary team. I mean, really, truly scary. There's no reason the Sixers lose this game too. But me saying that is a massive red flag, because how many times have we gone through this? The Sixers lose games they should never, ever lose, ever. And it happens all the time and every year. It doesn't even matter who the coach is, especially with Doc Rivers, who is literally famous for choking balls. It's not a good thing. It's not a good look for the Sixers fans. But when it comes to game two expectations, it's going to be tough, man. I think Toronto's going to come out with 100% effort, because they cannot lose this game. If they lose this game, you don't want to be down 2-0. Statistically, your chances of winning a series obviously drops when you're down 2-0 compared to 1-1. You need to win this game. And Philly does not want to lose this game either, because if Philly loses, they're tied going into Toronto without Matisse Thybulle. And I know Matisse didn't really have a great game one. I mean, he hit the only shot that he took was a 3, and defensively he was solid, but he wasn't crazy. But it's still a big loss because it's one less guy. The Sixers they don't have a crazy depth. They've always had depth problems. And the Sixers need as much help as they can get. I think if Harden comes out tonight and gives us a similar performance on similar efficiency, I'm not even asking for the world from him. The Sixers are going to look good. If Embiid plays as well as he did game one, which I have no doubt in my mind he will play better, I think the Sixers will win. Because I think Embiid is so good. And I think he got a huge monkey off his back. That chip on his shoulder in Toronto, against Toronto in the playoffs. He wants to win so bad. And you could see in his body language, he wasn't the old playoff Embiid, going to the crowd, living, going crazy after every single play in the first quarter. He was all business. He was locking in. He got guys locked in. The whole team just looked very, very focused and very willing to go after and get this series. And what seems to be the Sixers' biggest weaknesses and the Raptors' biggest strengths of our poor fast break defense and our poor rebounding, we dominated them in the fast break, and we dominated them on the boards. And if we could do that, I mean, the series is going to be a 4-0 sweep, because there's no shot that Toronto can beat us at what we're already better at. And if we just beat them at what they're already better than us at, I don't see this series going very long. But I'm also not sitting here and saying the Sixers in 4. I will still sit and say the Sixers probably in 6. But 5 or 6, hopefully. But this game is going to be extremely important to that prediction. If we lose this, it's going to be more Sixers in 6. If we win this, it's closer to Sixers in 5. And this series looks good, man, especially with 3 guys out. That's tough. That's really, really tough for them. Toronto cannot afford to lose guys because their bench is not good. It's just not good. And Embiid fouling out Chris Boucher last game was huge. Embiid's going to live at the line as he did in game 1, and as he should, because he's the most dominant player in the NBA. That's simply put. Drop the scores down below. If you guess the score correctly, I'll send you a Process jersey from the Process years. Maybe it's a Thad Young jersey. How ironic would that be? I'm wishing us the best T's and P's out to Scotty Barnes. That was avoided a very, very bad injury. We don't want injuries, even though he completely shoved Tyrese Maxey to the ground and then stood over him like he was Allen Iverson and Ty Lue. I wasn't a fan of that, but Embiid got him off quick. You know what? As long as we can shut the Raptors fans up in 4 games, that's all I want. Onward and upward, but we need this game too. Let's get after it. Peace.